From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aishah Ashraf. Our top story for today: an Israeli tourist has avoided arrest in Brazil after being linked to war crimes in Gaza. Aided by Israel's foreign ministry and the Israeli embassy in the country's capital, Brasilia, the man escaped just in time. The case against him was initiated from his own uploads, videos, and images of his time as a reservist in Gaza. These were flagged by a Free Palestine NGO. Analysts say this scenario is likely to become a recurring feature of Israel's new reality. Over the past 15 months of Israel's genocide in the region, thousands of Israeli soldiers have shared similar content of war crimes from Gaza and Lebanon, ignoring their commanders' warnings. Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid criticized the government for not shielding these soldiers from international legal repercussions post-service. The case has amplified fears among Israelis about the risk of international arrest warrants. This is especially after recent cases launched by the International Criminal Court against Israeli leaders. Despite intense scrutiny, the State Department has notified Congress of a proposed $8 billion arms deal with Israel. This proposed sale is pending congressional approval. It includes fighter jet munitions, artillery shells, and a range of bombs and fuses with production and delivery spanning several years. The move aims to bolster Israel's defenses against threats, including from Iran and its proxies. It aligns with President Joe Biden's commitment to Israel's right to self-defense under international laws. However, the deal, which was revealed as Biden's term in office comes to an end, faces opposition due to high civilian casualties in Gaza. Israel has killed over 45,000 Palestinians since October last year, most of them women and children. Human rights groups are urging a halt to the deal, citing violations of U.S. and international law. The Leahy Law, named after former Senator Patrick Leahy, requires the U.S. to withhold military assistance from foreign military or law enforcement units if there is credible evidence of human rights violations. Biden had halted shipments of heavy bombs to Israel last May because of its offensive on the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Later in July, Biden decided to move ahead with the shipment of 500-pound bombs to Israel after a 2-month pause. Israeli forces have killed 49 Palestinians and injured 75 others within the last 24 hours as they intensified operations in Gaza. At least 14 Palestinians have been killed since Monday morning. In an attack in the Sheikh Radwan neighborhood of northern Gaza City, 4 Palestinians were killed. Several victims, including critically injured individuals, remain trapped under debris. Attacks also have been reported in areas like Jabalia, Nuseirat, and Rafah, where a medical volunteer was among those killed. A drone strike targeted a school sheltering displaced families in Nuseirat, injuring more than 40 people. Additionally, harsh winter conditions have worsened the humanitarian crisis, leading to the death of an 8th infant from hypothermia. The Israeli army continues to demolish homes and buildings in northern Gaza. In southern Gaza, 2 fatalities were recorded following an attack on an agricultural sector in Rafah, although no casualties reported from naval strikes on western Rafah. Hamas and Israel are wrangling over the details of a potential ceasefire agreement. Hamas has told news agencies it has approved a list of 34 prisoners presented by Israeli authorities to be released as part of the first phase of the deal. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed at least 45,854 Palestinians and wounded 109,139 since October 7, 2023. In November 2024, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice for its war in Gaza. The White House has revealed that the Treasury Department's sanctions office was compromised in a cyber attack suspected to be orchestrated by Chinese hackers. This major breach targeted the Office of Foreign Assets Control. It is responsible for enforcing U.S. sanctions, as well as the Treasury Secretary's office. Spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre says President Joe Biden has been briefed and the administration is addressing the threat to prevent future incidents. Reports from the Washington Post and the New York Times highlight the operation's connection to a Chinese state-sponsored group. The group allegedly accessed unclassified documents and government workstations on December 8th. Despite China's denial of the accusation, this incident adds to a series of similar cybersecurity breaches linked to the country. The Treasury Department has responded by taking the affected service offline. President Joe Biden has written a powerful op-ed in the Washington Post marking the anniversary of January 6, 2021, a date he describes as a pivotal moment for American democracy. On that day, thousands of rioters who supported then-President Donald Trump crossed the National Mall and climbed the Capitol walls, attacking police officers, smashing windows, and kicking down doors. In his piece, titled "What Americans Should Remember About January 6, Biden called on the nation to reflect on the day the violent rioters breached the U.S. Capitol. He recounted the ceremonial significance of the day, traditionally meant to confirm the peaceful transition of power. However, he wrote that the events of 2021 transformed it from routine to a reminder of democracy's fragility. Biden condemned ongoing attempts to distort the reality of that day, criticizing those who claimed the insurrection was merely a protest that spiraled out of control. He also emphasized the importance of historical truth, stressing the real events must be taught to future generations. Biden reiterated his commitment to ensuring the transition of power this year remains peaceful and invited President-elect Trump to continue this tradition. Veteran Washington Post cartoonist Ann Telnis has resigned following the rejection of a provocative cartoon. The cartoon depicted media moguls, including Post owner Jeff Bezos, appeasing President-elect Donald Trump. On the publishing platform Substack, Telnis criticized her editor for obstructing her duty to scrutinize the influential. Her cartoon highlighted the concern over billionaires like Bezos currying favor with Trump for lucrative government deals. The Association of American Editorial Cartoonists slammed the Post's decision as political cowardice. They are rallying in support of Telnis with the hashtag #StandWithAnn. The Washington Post has not commented on the controversy. Trump appoints a Fox TV host as next State Department spokesperson. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. President-elect Donald Trump has named Fox News contributor and host Tammy Bruce as the next spokesperson for the State Department. Trump has described Tammy as a highly respected political analyst who he says understood the power and importance of MAGA early on. Bruce is a Fox News contributor and host of Get Tammy Bruce, a program on the Fox Nation streaming service since 2019. Justice Juan Merchant of the New York Supreme Court has upheld President-elect Donald Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts. They include falsifying business records tied to a hush money case involving adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 election. Sentencing is scheduled for January 10th, just days before Trump's inauguration. Trump is poised to become the first U.S. president to assume office as a felon. Although he is facing up to 4 years, an unconditional discharge is expected, sparing him prison time. Trump intends to appeal the decision, seeking to delay the sentencing. The Manhattan District Attorney had proposed the possibility of postponing Trump's sentencing until after his second presidential term ends in 2029. His sentencing was originally set for July. However, it was postponed after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that presidents enjoy absolute immunity. Homelessness in the U.S. soared by 18% in 2024, the largest increase in recent history. It affects more than 771,000 individuals, including a staggering 33% rise in homeless children. The Department of Housing and Urban Development's annual report highlights economic factors such as the affordable housing shortage, inflation, and stagnant wages that are driving this crisis. The HUD estimates that 39% more people and families with children experienced homelessness between 2023 and 2024. Children under the age of 18 experienced the largest increase in homelessness. Nearly 150,000 children experienced homelessness on a single night in 2024. On a more positive note, homelessness among veterans fell nearly 8%. New mass graves believed to contain the remains of civilians killed by the ousted Assad regime were found in the village of Naqarin, Aleppo, Syria last week. Mass graves are being uncovered across Syria as part of search and recovery efforts following the fall of Ba'ath regime of former President Bashar al-Assad. The site features deep trenches filled with human remains. Evidence suggests victims, including those who died from torture in harsh conditions in prisons like Sidneya, were buried there. Assad, who was Syria's leader for nearly 25 years, fled to Russia after anti-regime groups took control of the capital Damascus on December 8th. It ended the Ba'ath Party's regime, which had been in power since 1963. In related news, a demonstration was held in Lebanon on Sunday to demand the release of individuals imprisoned for supporting the Syrian revolution. Lebanese media reports that approximately 350 people, including 180 Lebanese, have been imprisoned in Lebanon for supporting the revolution that began in Syria in 2011. In Lebanon's second largest city, Tripoli, many people gathered in Al-Nus Square, demanding the release of prisoners, most of whom are detained without trial. Malaysia's Maritime Enforcement Agency has expelled 2 boats carrying nearly 300 Burmese nationals who are suspected to be Rohingya refugees from its waters. These actions follow the detention of 196 undocumented migrants attempting to enter their country via Langkawi Island. The refugees, found exhausted and lacking basic supplies, were briefly aided with food and water before being turned away. Refugees in Malaysia face severe restrictions on employment, education, and healthcare. Human Rights Watch has criticized the Malaysian government for restricting UNHCR's access to facilities, leading to prolonged detentions of asylum seekers. Malaysia has been a popular destination for Rohingya refugees owing to its dominant Malay Muslim population. Malaysia is not a party to the 1951 Refugee Convention or its protocol, which outlines international standards of treatment for the protection of refugees. India has officially banned Sikhs for Justice, a human rights advocacy group led by Gurbatwant Singh Pannu, for 5 years. The organization documents atrocities committed against Sikhs. India has allegedly tried to kill Pannu before banning his organization. The decision was confirmed by the Unlawful Activities Prevention Tribunal under Justice Anup Kumar Mandiratta of the Delhi High Court. The prosecution argued that SFJ is linked to terror groups like Babbar Khalsa and International and Khalistan Tiger Force. It accused the SFJ of campaigning for a separate Sikh state in the Indian province of Punjab. The prosecution also said SFJ was linked to Pakistan's spy agency, ISI, and has been radicalizing youth via social media. In a significant political shift, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation as leader of the Liberal Party. Speaking from Ottawa, Trudeau said his departure will take effect once a new leader is chosen through what he says will be a robust, nationwide competitive process. He has cited prolonged parliamentary paralysis and declining public support as key reasons behind his decision. Trudeau has led Canada since 2015 following a decisive electoral victory. This move aims to provide the Liberal Party enough time to organize a leadership contest amid growing internal dissatisfaction and mounting opposition challenges. The race to succeed Trudeau is heating up with several prominent figures like Mélanie Joly, François-Philippe Champagne, and Mark Carney as potential contenders. The next federal election is scheduled for October. Meanwhile, the Liberal Party grapples with significant hurdles, including a potential no-confidence vote when Parliament resumes. Trudeau's legacy includes 2 electoral victories and managing critical issues like the housing affordability crisis. His resignation marks the end of an era for the Liberals, who now face the task of rejuvenating the party under new leadership. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.